is back.
First pitch swinging, sent deep out into center field. Back it goes. And this one is gone.
The Brewers' 2026 championship season is underway at Maryvale, Arizona.
And a nice diving play by Ortiz at short.
The best part of the job is seeing guys believe in themselves. You know, when you see a young player come up and they've built like a habitual way of getting better, that's just a great feeling, man.
It's time for Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, with the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Well, here we are talking Brewers baseball. What could be better? And we're inching a little bit closer to opening day of the 26 championship season. It's Thursday. The Brewers open up on a Thursday. How many Thursdays? It's only 3 weeks away.
3 weeks away today.
3 weeks from today.
3 weeks till
beautiful.
Jacob Misiorowski starts opening day.
Maybe. Speaking of Jacob Misiorowski, we had a conversation with the Brewers right-hander earlier this morning. Got a jam-packed show again for you tonight as we are broadcasting live in Phoenix, Arizona. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen, talking Brewers baseball, and we're about 98.8% sure that the Brewers had a hitting meeting this morning.
Yeah, we got in today about 8 o'clock, and by 9 o'clock, there was virtually no hitters left in the clubhouse
at all. Right at 9.
It was right at 9 o'clock,
Yep.
So I think that was probably why we didn't get to see anyone during that time. We got a lot of pitchers on today. Hey, even Cooper Pratt going to be on the show as well, and he had a decent day as well. Brewers currently up 10-8, bottom 9 over the Colorado Rockies.
Wow.
A 6th spot in the 5th, really the highlight. And how about Garrett Mitchell back into the swing of things today? Could be dangerous. Could be dangerous, Tim.
Well, the outfield, now again, this is Blake Perkins in left, Garrett Mitchell in center, Sal Frelick in right. Sal Frelick made an outstanding play in today's game.
Oh, should have had a double play too, but Pratt unfortunately unable to squeeze it at shortstop to double him up too. But fantastic play today from the Milwaukee Brewers, and they needed it, Tim, because we had not seen that yet since being down here.
No, and when you look at the hit column on the line score, it seemed to me that it was a little bit low, and Murph kind of alluded to that earlier in the week. Now a hitters meeting, now all of a sudden they're up 10-8 right now, late in the game. All right, we started our day heading into the clubhouse, as we said, pitching sort of the theme tonight. As we'll hear from Kyle Harrison. That was a nice conversation.
That was a good one. That was fun.
With the Brewers left-hander, Jacob Misiorowski, and more. We then, what else did we do? Did some production work. Well, you did.
I did.
Yes,
you
did.
The production work.
Yes,
Brandon Sproat, we got him at the
Brandon
end a little bit, too.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
And Pat Murphy with a little bit of strategy with ABS maybe coming to the Milwaukee Brewers.
That is on the way. In his morning briefing, he also had a game show that we all played, but we won't bring you that tonight. But it was guess who had the most plate appearances in Cactus League this year for the Brewers?
This includes now the sim games and what are the other qualifications that Murph laid out, the mock games as well. It wasn't just in Cactus League. It was physically being a part of what the Brewers track as plate appearances.
We all took a guess, the media panel that was in there, and did someone get it?
No one got it.
Nobody got it.
But you did get the answer, right? Did you catch it at the end?
I did catch it.
Okay.
And he's not even in camp right now.
Tyler Black has 47 plate appearances so far in camp with the Brewers in either sim games or Cactus League games. And as you said, right now, playing with Team Canada, started at second base last WBC game as well.
Second base.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get into the ABS thing with Pat Murphy. Really interesting on how the Brewers are approaching this. So stick around for that. We ended up in the fan shop today. Of course, that's one of my favorite things to do.
I got my bag over here.
Okay, what you got? What'd you get?
I got some Tim, here, I'm going to try to teach you a little bit. I got some drip, okay?
Drip.
That's what the kids
What about bougie? Is
bougie,
that something?
Bougie's a little out, but drip,
okay,
I think, might be the better one for you. So I got one like little generic Arizona fall our Arizona Cactus League shirt here. Just a little like
Okay.
there on the front, and then the back has the full sun going with, instead of a sun, Tim, on the horizon, a baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks pretty sick. I have a crew neck that I got, and this one's clean. This is maybe the prize right
clean.
here. Yeah, you like that? It's super drippy.
Does that mean
super
cool?
drippy. Yeah. Look at that one. Look, just right in the middle. Just got some Brewer action. Milwaukee Brewers since 1970. Tim was 42 years old back then.
Well, that's my jersey number, 70.
And then I got to leave this one for a surprise in case anyone's watching. But another Cactus League-esque shirt.
I was on the hunt for long sleeve tees, but nice. I mean, nice long sleeve tees. And I found one.
Milwaukee, right
Look
across that. That one's clean.
Yeah, it's kind of a dry fit sort of thing.
Kind of like the coaches, like what the coaches are wearing
Maybe.
over on the sides, you know, in the dugout, something like that. That one's good.
Well, you got one. I had to get another one. I mean, hell, they were only $84 a piece. Let's see.
Yep, you got it right there.
Right here. Ooh, now this I like.
Yeah, clean.
That is cool.
Got the M and the B right underneath. Big Brewers right there.
With me talking to the attendant at the fan shop, $84 a piece for these shirts cost me $112.
It's the most Tim Allen story of all time. I'm pretty sure I was at the 200 mark and it went down to 140.
And so yeah, good deal.
Yeah, it was a great deal.
Now,
although I had some issues checking out today.
You may have paid a lot of money for those shirts.
Tim, we get to the checkout and Tim's immediately bartering. I mean, everything's a rummage sale in the life of Tim Allen. And we get up there and he name drops a couple of people that we know working over in the team store. And he said, hey, hook us up with the discount. Well, little did we know that some of our availability helps us out with that as well.
Sure.
And he could not figure out the discount at first. John was great, though. He was great sport about it the whole time. He might have scanned my stuff 15 times.
17 times. It sounded like a slot machine you hitting the bonus.
I thought for sure that my total was going to be $1,200 by the end of this.
All I heard was a bunch of beeping, and now I'm like, oh, you better show. This needs to be nice, Tim. You got to be nice, Tim.
Nice.
So it was excruciating.
And he even said, I hope you guys aren't in a rush.
we were kind of
in a rush a little bit.
Yes. So we got the souvenirs taken care of. We then headed out and did some business at, this may shock you, a casino, but not just a casino, Talking Stick Resort Casino, and had lunch there, scooted off to the game, Salt River Fields,
which
Talking Stick.
No shade at American Family Fields by any means. Beautiful park, Talking Stick.
Great park.
So Salt River Fields was awesome. They have double deck in spring training. I couldn't believe that.
They have an upper deck. Yes.
And we even checked out the grass for a little bit. Grass seats were great. Met some fans out there. That was awesome.
You bet. We had a little driver that drove us.
Noah. Shout out Noah. I mean, again, just you'll see that later. We got to get him over to social media still. But Noah, the driver, the shuttle guy,
he likes you better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you were the one paying him though, so once anything happened, give the guy a nice little $2 tip.
Man, it's nice coming out of the turnstiles and getting in a nice cozy golf cart and being dropped off right at your car.
I was just throwing you in the back too. I was. We'll figure out what happens with Tim later, but it was a great day overall, and a lot of good stuff coming your way from what we got from media availability earlier.
The game, as we got in there, the game starts out with a 462-foot bomb from Garrett Mitchell.
Oh, I mean,
beautiful.
Officially final now. Brewers win 10-8 over the
Colorado. There you go. There we go.
That was big. Garrett Mitchell, as you said, 462 off the bat. Dead center. It was crushed by him on the first pitch of the game. He finishes with 2 hits, 4 runs driven in as well. Sal Frelick with the nice catch. He also had 2 runs batted in as well as a hit today.
Now, one of the RBIs is a Sal Frelick type RBI.
Yes.
It's sort of a little fluffed up, a little duffer on the right side and just move the runners in. It was
Brewers
fielder's
baseball.
choice.
It was Brewers baseball.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Just put the ball in play when there's a guy on third base. And we're burying the lead here. Jake Bauers going yard today. Come on.
Yes,
he was bound to this week with me being there too.
Blake Perkins got in the hit column as well. So the Brewers 10-8 winners over the Rockies today here at Cactus League action. Now, really the news of the day, or at least the last, I'm going to say 48 hours or so, has been pitching. And namely, it's been a little bit more leaning toward Quinn Priester. Mm-hmm. And we finally got a chance early this morning as he addressed the media and addressed what's going on with Priester. Now, we know Woody is taking it slow due to his injury history, recent injury history. And now Quinn Priester, there's an injury issue. This is confusing to me a little bit, but Quinn Priester, we got it from the mouth of him, and here's how he explained it as he addressed the media this morning.
Just not responding as quickly as we'd like to, but definitely confident just about kind of going forward and continuing with this process to get ready as soon as possible.
You threw a live early.
Yeah.
Right? Like, was it the day after Woody's first one on the
I
field?
believe so. I'm not sure.
Was that the last time you faced hitters?
Yeah, so that was the last time we faced hitters. Was saying, hey, it's just not feeling as good as it probably should right now. Let's not push it and make a bad decision trying to go too early, too quickly, and just continue to, take it day by day right now.
Are you throwing now?
Yeah, we're playing catch today for sure, and then just continuing to keep that volume as we work through it.
And again, just so we understand, have you shut down from playing catch for a while? Is today a restart?
No, so we've been playing catch kind of every other day here, just kind of trying to take it day by day and just trying to keep the volume so that when we do get past this, we can, launch and not, kind of go from nothing, if that makes sense.
Can you describe what's actually going on with your wrist? Because Murph's just kind of always been vague. Like, is it a pronate, supinate thing, or what's going on?
It's I guess that's the part that's difficult is some throws I'll be able to feel it, and then some throws I don't. And so sometimes it's difficult based on the day to understand kind of what we're going to expect. It's some of the frustration with this whole thing right now, but ultimately, it kind of sucks just taking it day by day, trying to get past this, but, confident that it's nothing big, nothing large, and just something, that probably the body's reacting to after, a really intense season last year, not only highest inning workload, but also full workload in the big leagues, not really having minor league games. It is a different intensity, and we'll learn from this as we continue to navigate it and hopefully start responding a little bit better.
Is it different or similar to what you dealt with at the end of last season?
Pretty similar to how we dealt with it at the end of last year, taking the same steps or similar steps to work through it. And then, yeah.
Were you feeling it, or when were you feeling it toward the end of last year?
There was a game in Wisconsin. There was a game against Chicago in Chicago during that 17 game stretch we had, where that's when it first kind of popped up. We were able to manage it with different things as the course of the season went on, and then as intensity started to ramp up, get closer to the season, I just kind of was like, hey, we're still dealing with some lingering things, and we're trying to take care of it.
We had seen maybe back on the mound late March, early April. Is your thinking right now maybe IL to start the year, and then with the whole season?
Yeah, I think my thought process is get back as soon as we can. I don't think, obviously I'm going to stay optimistic with things and keep pushing and kind of, like I said, take it day by day. It's an annoying thing, but it's, I think, the best thing because, feeling really good tomorrow and or today, tomorrow, et cetera, keep going and build right up from there. I don't think there's any reason to wake up thinking it's not going to go well. So, wake up with the tech each day and understand that, today might be the day where we kind of push through this thing and then just hit the ground running or continue on. In terms of the IL and those things, that's things we need to talk about as a team. Obviously, don't want that to happen. And we're just going to take it day by day. I hate repeating that, but.
Well, you still have the whole season to.
Correct.
I mean, Murph always talked to us about the season, not opening day.
Correct. And that's, I think, obviously my goal is still to be ready for the team at all times and doing what I can to do that. But ultimately, we'll just take it day by day. I hate saying that.
So what you're saying is you're going to take it day by day.
That's right.
So then tomorrow, day by day.
Exactly. We'll take tomorrow, and then the day after that. So. Thank you,
Day
guys.
after
Thank you,
that,
Yeah.
Day by
Day
by
day. There's a song out, Day by Day. There's Quinn Priester, and that is concerning.
Yes.
And we touched on it yesterday a little bit about what Murph said in game on the Brewers TV broadcast, that there's room for concern here. I think I don't believe that Murph meant, the entire season. What he meant was early on in the season.
I'm thinking that I need to go back now and look here, because this is the timetable I have in my mind, and it's Jose Quintana, right? And Quintana took a couple of weeks to get back and a little bit into the season. Last year, Jose Quintana had a phenomenal season for the Brewers, right? And in 2025, his game log here, I want to say he was April.
It was a few weeks in
kind of guy, right? Maybe it was 2 starts there. Looking at his,
seemed like he made 2.
Missed 2 starts here.
Yeah, well, made 2. Didn't he do a minor league rehab?
I don't remember that off the top of my head, and the baseball reference on here is tough. Chuck, can you look up when you have a chance here of Jose Quintana?
But that might be the timeline for Priester.
Yeah,
at best.
I want to say it was April 14th, right? And if it gets past that date, I think then there's room to be concerned about Quinn Priester. I don't think it's quite concerning to say, hey, Quinn Priester's not going to be ready for opening day. Everybody panic. If you get him in 2 weeks, like I said, I think there is some benefit to maybe have one of these back-end guys who isn't going to be a part of the 2026 roster right away. See what you have at the beginning of the year. I'm talking about your Sproats, your Hendersons, your Gassers, Hall, whoever it might be that you want to throw at that back end of the rotation. Right. Like, now you can get them 1 or 2 starts in the big leagues and see, hey, maybe we can take our time more with Quinn Priester, or we rush Quinn Priester in and someone else finds their way into the rotation.
And let's keep in mind, you're in a much better situation than you were last year with Tyler Alexander and Elvin Rodriguez.
April 11th, the first start for Jose Quintana. If it gets past that date with the season starting March 27th, then I think there might be some room where what's going on with Quinn Priester? What's up with his arm? What's up with the wrist? But we heard it's basically just all inflammation. They can't figure out any tendon or muscle that might be any problem. It's just very inconsistent on the recovery and how he feels the next day after throwing.
Going to be interesting, because if Woody's lagging back a little bit as well, and again, this patience and all of that, but the depth comes in. Depth is opportunity. Depth of opportunity, I think you could put it in a weird way, because you're right. Logan Henderson could get that start when, if everyone healthy, wouldn't have gotten it, and maybe he does what Logan Henderson does,
right,
and just throws 5 2/3 of shutout baseball. And then what do you do? Well, maybe then you rethink your rotation. You're right. Something good could come out of this as the Brewers head into the 26 championship season. We will hear from some of the pitchers in the running for the rotation. I would imagine 2 of the 3 that we're going to hear from tonight in terms of starters are going to be in that rotation, if not all 3.
I think that's fair. Yeah, for sure 2 of the 3. For sure.
So Misiorowski, Harrison, Sproat. Sproat would be the one, but
if Priester's not, Sproat would probably fit in for Priester right now.
Is he next man up?
That's my guess.
Okay, you have Chad Patrick to deal with here. You've got choices, there's no doubt. Robert Gasser started today's ball game against the Rockies and got touched up a little bit. 3 innings. He gave up 2 runs?
Yes. I'm also a little worried about Craig Yoho.
Starting to get beat on a little bit.
Just
doesn't look.
Lost it.
Yeah.
Something's not found. Something's not found yet with Craig Yoho.
Maybe it's Nashville food.
Oh, okay.
Because when he pitches down there, it is amazing.
Someone get this guy some hot chicken.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so ABS. Teams are trying to figure out their strategy on this, and the Brewers are no different. They had cards held up, apparently, during today's game, which is it's okay or it's not okay to challenge. Really interesting. Murphy breaks that all down. He did that in his morning briefing this morning. We're going to have that for you. It's a quite fascinating conversation. We all need to get used to the challenge system here in baseball heading into the 26 championship season. There's Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen. We're having some fun here best Brewers coverage. You find it right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
You're listening to Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, with the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is a final from Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, a Brewers victory, 10-8 over the Rockies. We'll take that. Been a while since the Brewers won a baseball game.
I have been waiting to have something to celebrate on the offensive side, and we finally did. As we said, home runs from Garrett Mitchell, Jake Bowers, Sal Frelick picking up a couple of RBIs in the contest, and Blake Perkins getting out. Sal Frelick, nice defensive play. Pitching side of things, not so hot. We saw Robert Gasser come out, start the game. He gave up a couple of runs. Craig Yoho, 3 hits, a run allowed in the contest as well. And Coleman Crowe get a little banged around at the end. He did go 3 innings to close the game out. However, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and a strikeout for Crowe.
Our conversation with Jacob Misiorowski coming up at 6 o'clock, so stick around for that. Kyle Harrison, the lefty. I like that conversation. With the new Brewer left-hander.
Yeah, young guy, too. Held himself very well. Seems pretty mature for his age. And he had a stellar first outing with the Brewers in Cactus League. And, again, they need a lefty in this rotation. All signs pointing to Harrison being the guy.
And I think I hit a home run toward the end of the Brandon Sproat interview.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Pretty telling. ABS, we're all going to get used to it. And, you know, I've been reading a lot, listening to a lot of podcasts and watching MLB Network about the automated ball strike system.
Sure.
And, you know, there's going to be some strategy to it. And that really does come into play here. Although Murph said for the most part, everyone's got an idea.
Yeah.
But maybe some subtle differences in how you approach this.
How have you perceive the ABS while we've been here?
I think it's quicker than people think. You need to see it in motion. Brewer fans and baseball fans in general, I think they need to see it not in an all-star game. I think they need to see it not in a Cactus League game.
Yeah.
They need to see it when live bullets are flying.
I think it also is just so umpire dependent too, right? I mean, this will expose an umpire's bad day.
It will.
Continues. Like when a game against the Cubs, it was getting a little annoying. And again, it's not to the Cubs' fault of they just kept getting the challenges correct. I think they had 3 correct in 1 inning at a point.
Right.
So it is going to be very reliant on how the umpire is calling the baseball
They'll
game.
be aggressive when they have all their challenges. When you're down to 1, you better save it. That much I do know.
I'm
saving mine, Tommy. I'm making sure, especially in a close game, I'm making sure I got one in my back pocket.
I do think that guys are going to be more aggressive with calling for the challenges just to gauge how well they do know the strike zone, because that's coming up in this, Murphy. It's about training for this, too. I mean, the strike zone is your strike zone now. This is not the Major League Baseball strike zone. ABS measures you out. They actually have it. I think it was like 20% of your height and 30% of your width or whatever it is. And that's going to be the strike zone. And now everyone's going to have that ability to be able to read their specific design strike zone.
What if you bat with a crouch? You know, that comes into play.
But it won't change or move the strike zone.
It will not, and that's the thing.
If you bat with a crouch and you were to be all the way down to your knees, a strike zone will still be above
up
your
there.
head.
It's still up there.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen to this. It really, really fascinating and interesting conversation. This morning, it was Pat Murphy's morning briefing.
All right, sorry. I haven't had breakfast. A lot of meetings. ABS.
Saw a large contingent of people filing in. Is that, Murph, just about taking what you've seen so far and talking about strategy decisions?
Trying to really zero in on how we want to present it. I just didn't think it was going to be good to present before we experienced it. Now I want to zero in on, we're getting closer. We had another huge session today. That last session was different. It was more individual player meetings, player plans. Now we're meeting more on, as we go forward, we'll hone it in, so to speak.
It's probably going to take some time to kind of understand the strategy of it.
That's what we're trying to get a jump start on, trying to take what we know and take what makes baseball sense. And
do you think teams are going to have, widely varying strategies on that? Or
No.
I
I think it's going to be like everything else, like how the running game has evolved in the game and why, because the number of picks changes things, similar to ABS.
How do you guys find unique avenues in the game today when there's so much homogeny of thought on ABS or running game or pitching development? Where do you think you guys?
I think that's
what front office finds those.
I think the front office does a great job of hiring these people that are just, if you met them on the street, you wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a baseball guy," and I mean that with total respect. But they hire these really, really smart guys that talk about things that get your brain really, for me, it's like a real uncomfortable area, they really do a great job of bringing things to your attention. If this, then this. And that was the meeting this morning. We probably had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 R&D guys in here with our baseball staff saying, how are we going to present this? Does this make sense? What are you worried about from a strategy standpoint? Here's what we're worried about from implementation. We've said nothing to the players. Now we're implementing some things without talking to the players. They're going to be like, what are we doing? No, you can't do that. You can do this. So it's a yes, no. As of today, it's going to be at the game. It's going to be yes, no. Heads up.
Is that yes, no as they get ready to go up for the at bat, or is it yes, no from pitch to pitch?
Yes, no from pitch to pitch. But they'll learn. You'll know when it's yes, no. But there's variations. It's way more complicated than yes, no. But as of today, it's going to be without even telling them, except before the game, it's yes or no, guys. If this green towel is out, it's a good time to challenge.
Is there a differentiation?
Yes.
Between
yes.
Air challenges and catcher challenges?
Yes. It's complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I called in the smart people. You know what I mean? And it's like, this shit's confusing. If this, then this. And you can always think of another situation.
Is there such thing as a good challenge that you get wrong?
Yeah.
So you want
the key to challenges, I don't want to reveal all our strategy. The key is not to lose challenges early, but it's also not to have challenges when you end the game. It's situational based, and count is more important than runners on base, and situation is more important than anything. Now, it does come down to players being good at knowing the difference between a real strike for sure and what you perceive to be a pitch on the edge, which could go either way. And there's times when you're hitting where
there he is, Pat Murphy. We'll get back to him in a second. You wanted to jump in here, Tommy?
Yeah, I just think it's so interesting that they are actually going to have physical cards resembling yes, no to challenge for the players. And that's something that's really interesting to me because it's something that they're just allowing, obviously, in baseball, that already seems kind of interesting to do. And on top of it, now it's going to be something that Murph says they will progressively learn, so maybe they will get rid of them. But remember how the ABS challenge system was, the dugout's got to kind of remain quiet. It's got to be your decision to make.
Right.
Yes, I will challenge. No, I will not challenge. But the Brewers always trying to find a way, even before the rule gets implemented, to try to bend it a little bit and help out and make it a little more collaborative.
Good point. You just take a peek over and you kind of know.
And it sounds like that will be very count-based. It won't be as much situational early on in the game.
Early, that's the key.
Right? Do you never challenge the first pitch of an at-bat? Is that something that is maybe a part of it? Is it always on a 1-2 count? It's more beneficial than it is on a 2-1 count to try to go for it. That's going to be the interesting part of the ABS system, and the Brewers are going to make it a team effort and a team strategy on how they challenge, it sounds like. And Murph seems to think the rest of Major League Baseball is going to do this too.
This organization had a meeting this morning to talk strategy and depth of these decisions. If you take a look at the metrics between a 1-2 count and a 2-1 count, dramatic difference.
Right. First pitch, even too. That could be a part of it. 1-0 count versus an 0-1 count. Also big differences in what happens at the major league level. So maybe it is a first pitch. You have a green light and you never do when it's a 1-2 count versus, and you need to preserve them and you need to be smart about them. Now, unless they are egregious, maybe but how many of these, Tim, have been 0.2 of an inch, 0.3 of an inch? I mean,
0.2 yesterday.
All of them are that tight where it is a seam of the baseball seems to be in the zone or out of the zone. And that's what's making these decisions. And that's why maybe I get a little annoyed about it, because how we're going to make 0.2 of an inch mean that much in a baseball game. But it is something that when it comes down to it's that close, when it's that close of a decision and that quick for these umpires, Murphy wants to make it a team effort.
Think about late in the game. When you talk about early in the game, that's one thing. Late in the game, when you have one, it could be the pivotal moment. I'll give a football analogy. When a team thinks they scored a touchdown, ruled not in the end zone, you didn't get in. Most times the referees these days, as we all know, they'll just throw a touchdown up because all touchdowns are reviewed, right? But in the rare circumstance where you come up short or you didn't clip the pylon, you thought you did, that's worth it because the outcome is 6 points.
Right.
You save that last challenge because the outcome could be a bases loaded walk versus a bases loaded strikeout. You may get the game winning run on a call, but you got to have that thing.
With that being said now, Tim, you think of it where a manager, they make the decisions throughout a ball game of, hey, I'm going to bring this guy out from the pen. I'm going to pinch hit this guy for whoever else is on our bench.
Right.
Are you going to be mad at managers when balls and strikes are challenged and it's not successful more than you are going to be at players then in that circumstance? Because it seems like it's going to be a big deal if it's a team thing.
Maybe. All right, let's get back to Pat Murphy, more on the ABS.
Now, it does come down to players being good at knowing the difference between a real strike for sure and what you perceive to be a pitch on the edge, which could go either way. And there's times when you're hitting where you're just not seeing the ball good. You go up there and you're Tim Allen.
I just got that. I thought there was more.
But that's interesting that you haven't said anything to him. That's surprising.
That's a strategy.
Great. Yeah.
It is great.
Let him just kind of feel it.
I
wonder how many teams did that.
Can't worry about that.
I just think play a part in this.
Oh, fuck.
Jazzed up.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's why we don't let the pitchers do it. You know what I mean? But we have emotion in all sorts of areas. Hitters. So you're in the eighth inning. I brought it up today. You're in the eighth inning. It's tie score. You're the leadoff hitter, so there's nobody on base. Eighth inning, high score. You get punched out in a close one. It was Pratt yesterday. Right? It wasn't tie score, but close. And you could see him like, screw it, I'll challenge it. No, dumb. Like, we're out of challenges now because
you were pissed about your at bat. Can't happen.
Catchers are getting better.
Yeah, there he is, Pat Murphy, and a little glitchy in there because Murph is quite candid and colorful.
Yeah.
With his comments, but it really is. I don't think it's going to be a game changer, but it really is fascinating to try and figure out the strategy. He said it was much easier when I asked him, is this going to be easier to figure out or more challenging than extra innings strategy? He said way more challenging this one. Yeah, way more. All right, we'll continue here as we're in Phoenix, Arizona at Spring Training Live 2026. As pitchers on our mind after this, we're going to hear from a handful of them, namely Jacob Misiorowski at the top of the hour. So stick around. We're talking Brewers baseball here in Phoenix, Arizona on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Live from Maryvale, Arizona, it's the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz and Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
We are here in Phoenix, Arizona, Cactus League action today. The Brewers take care of the Rockies at Salt River, and it was 10-8 final, so finally the bats came around. Pitching side of things, Brandon Sproat, does he play a part in the rotation early in the year? Maybe. We caught up with him this morning. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz here in the Brewers Clubhouse, Spring Training Live 2026 with the Brewers, Brandon Sproat. Brandon, good to talk to you again.
Yeah, nice to talk to you all as well.
How's everything? Everything healthy?
Yeah, everything's been great. Body feels good. Super happy to be here. It's been nothing but great. So,
how did the first performance go?
It was good. I mean, both outings have been solid. Been good things to build on. Just tweaking a few things. Just working with Hook. But yeah, no, it's been good.
How's your first impressions been with Chris Hook? We talked about it with you a couple of weeks ago on Hot Stove Weekly, and you were excited to get over here, excited to work with him. Now that you've been in spring for a couple of weeks here, how's that first interactions gone?
No, he's been awesome. I love what he has to offer. Super vocal, very helpful.
Different in any way?
I wouldn't say. I mean, I think everyone's different in different ways. Everyone's got something different to offer. But I mean, I love what he's been offering to me. Obviously he's still getting to know me. I'm still getting to know him. It's only been a couple weeks, but it's been awesome. He's been awesome. Jim's been awesome. Even some of the older guys have been helpful as well. So.
What pitches have been working for you thus far, and what needs a little tweaking?
I think all of them need tweaking. They're never perfect, but the sinker and the cutter, just working on the start line of those, just tweaking those, getting more comfortable throwing the front hip sinker, the cutter up and in. And then just working on the sweeper, just getting it to break later towards the plate instead of, this big, long sweeping break that kind of just, breaks too early. The hitter can pick up on it a lot sooner. But, yeah, just the couple of things like that. Nothing too complicated. But Jim and Hook have been super helpful with those things.
One more for you here, Brandon. You just came off the game yesterday. What's kind of like the off-day routine schedule kind of look like, and when do you think you're up next here to get a couple more ups?
So I think I throw again. I think in 5 days. I think it's for every fifth day so far. Today, honestly, I'll go out and stretch at 10 with the team, and then I won't throw today. I don't throw the day after my outings. Just give the arm a break. I think it always needs it. And then I'll go in the weight room and do some conditioning. Just do a bunch of stretching. Probably do some arm care, some buys, tries. Just kind of flush everything out. And then tomorrow I'll do probably a full body workout. But yeah, that's usually my kind of my day after routine. So.
And you'll be ready to go. It looks like you're on schedule to be ready to go when the bell rings, right?
Yeah, I'll be ready whenever they tell me to go. So.
Yeah, you're truly blessed. You get to do this for a living, man. It's cool.
Man, you nailed that. I thank God every single day I wake up that. Thanking for a new day, thanking for, the blessing and the opportunity to come out here and play the game that I once dreamed of playing. So, can't take it for granted because I know eventually I'm going to look back and be like, wow, my career's already over. Hopefully that's, many years from now, but it's going to fly by.
Brandon Sproat, you're a big leaguer. Pinch yourself, man. Thanks for the time.
No, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Brandon Sproat, 99 with movement down, and you'd think it'd be unhittable.
Right.
From Sproat.
He's had a little bit of struggle so far in spring, and he wasn't lights out by any means in his last 4 outings with the Mets last year, but the stuff undeniably is there.
They were in big spots for the Mets at that time, though.
Yeah.
Big spots.
In a big spot, do you want a guy with 99 in sync?
Yeah, I do.
I do. I do. Yeah.
Can you teach command? Can you learn control? Well, we asked Jacob Misiorowski that because a lot of us that have watched Jacob Misiorowski pitch the last less than a calendar year, really, when you get down to it, the control might be an issue for him. Can you teach it? Can you learn it?
Well, he seems to think there's a chance. Tim, how many Pokemon can you name?
Probably none.
None? You've heard of Pikachu, right?
Pikachu, yeah.
Okay, all right. That's all I got for you. I don't think you were going to get any of the other ones, but I had some faith. We talked to him about cards as well. We love doing that. Miz was great. You're not going to want to miss it. Coming up on the other side.
It's next as we are live here in Phoenix, Arizona, Spring Training Live. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen here with Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Baseball is back. Here Tim and Tommy. Goodbye. How about it? Live. They've got a plan. Spring training live.
Baseball is back.
First pitch swinging, sent deep out into center field. Back it goes. And this one is gone.
The Brewers' 2026 championship season is underway at Maryvale, Arizona.
And a nice diving play by Ortiz at short.
The best part of the job is seeing guys believe in themselves. You know, when you see a young player come up and they've built like a habitual way of getting better, that's just a great feeling, man.
It's time for Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, with the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Hour number 2, Spring Training Live 2026, ahead of the championship season. There's Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen, having some fun covering Brewers baseball. What could be better? We're bringing it to you as best we can inside that Brewers clubhouse, and we'll get back in there in just a second here. Jacob Misiorowski. Tommy, I know your girl, she is a big baseball fan.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys got a lot of debates on baseball?
Not necessarily debates, no, but there is some friendly. She's a North Sider. She's a Cub fan.
Yep.
I know. I was there's few moments that I've been scared to tell people things in my life. All of them have come with my parents. And then telling Tim Allen that she was a Cubs fan was right up there.
That was tough to handle.
Was...
I mean, I'm still processing that.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out whether I like her or not. No, I don't have a problem with Cub fans. I've been pretty clear on that. It's just that team.
Just that team.
It might drip over to the city a little bit, but I don't want to open that door because I get killed on that stuff.
If you remember, Jacob Misiorowski pitching very well in that Cubs series
Absolutely.
last year.
He did, and we're going to hear from Jacob Misiorowski. My son is a big baseball fan as well. He loves Misiorowski. I mean, he thinks he is the next.
Ty called you yesterday and said, when are you going to get Misiorowski?
Yes, he did. And I said, we'll do our best to get at him in the morning. And we do so. And we dedicate this interview to Ty because he's just the biggest Misiorowski fan you're going to find. But we will also come up with another pitcher, possibly in the midst of that bullpen. Also, one of the prospects that played in today's game had a little success as well. Drew a walk, had a hit, scored a run. Cooper Pratt, he'll join us in just a couple of minutes. But let's get back in that Brewers clubhouse, as we said this morning, with our conversation with the Brewers right-hander, Jacob Misiorowski. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz here in the Brewers clubhouse, Spring Training Live 2026 with Jacob Misiorowski. Jacob, great seeing you again.
Good to see you guys.
Okay, how is everything? It's you got in the game the other day, and did it feel good?
Yeah, it felt great. Going against Great Britain was kind of fun. Being a WBC team and kind of an all-star team in a way, but it was fun.
How do you feel about the WBC? Is that like maybe a long-term goal of like you would love to participate in something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be really fun to play in and go across the country. Hopefully when I get to play, we go to Japan or do something cool like that. But
when you get to play,
yeah, I mean that's the goal. Like, of course, it's always you're shooting for that, so it'd be fun.
You keep an eye on USA and Bryce specifically, or any other teams that you have any interest in during it?
Yeah, I mean, you're always watching your teammates. You're watching Bryce. You're watching all of our guys with Venezuela. DR. Joey with Mexico. It's gonna be fun.
What is next for Jacob Misiorowski? I mean, last year had to be it had to be cool for you to experience everything that went through that season and that debut and an all-star, etc. But what is next for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just 2026 season. I think that's what's next. I don't think I'm looking at anything like that, like too deep. I think it's just looking at that first start, if that's at home or if that's in KC or Boston, somewhere in there.
I'm thinking that there might be a shot for an opening day bid. I mean, depending on how things play out here in the next few weeks, how would that sit for you?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, I'd totally be down. I think it'd be a crazy opportunity to get to throw in the opening day. As a kid, you always grew up watching that. Coming from KC, we were always playing like second week of the season. I feel like we were always on the road, but it'll be fun.
Well, and now you have a little bit of a different spring this year as opposed to last year, right? You kind of knew that maybe you'd be fast tracked up and get up at some point, but now the expectation is you're going to be a part of this starting rotation immediately. What's a little different in that preparation compared to last year starting out in AAA, and this year now you get the full off season kind of knowing that you have some security at the big league level?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a big change of, the mindset going into this off season was, be ready for the year instead of like trying to prepare to do too much in the like spring training camp. And so I think it's a little bit more relaxed to, be able to just not worry about it.
You know that the pace of spring training, it's always about building up, not taking things too fast. How do you slow down when you throw 100 miles an hour, right? How do you try to take a step back when you want to showcase your best stuff, but you don't need to throw 102 in March?
Yeah, I think it's more like, it's going to come out 102. That's how I throw. Yeah. So I think it's more just like pitch count more than like actually like turning the volume down. I think it's still going to come out hot. It's going to be what it is, but I think we just take that volume down a little bit.
Can someone teach control or command, maybe playing in the strike zone, non-competitive pitches? I think Murphy put it that way. Can someone learn that, or do you just have it?
I mean, a lot of people think you can learn it, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things that you kind of just gotta figure it out. I think it's partly learning and kind of just aiming middle and hoping for the best. So it kind of just works that way. It figures itself out.
Yeah, everyone knows about the fastball, but what's your favorite off speed to throw, and what's something that you're really trying to work out? The fastball's great, but it's the big leagues, right? Everyone's going to be able to catch up to it at some point. What have you really been working on to try to throw guys off on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, I think the curveball and slider are both right there. I think those are the two big ones I'm going to go with this year. And, I feel really good with the slider and be able to control it and throw it where I want. And, but I mean, that's probably the big one of like moving with that.
Do you ever think to yourself to sacrifice some velo on those pitches to get maybe a little bit more command, or you're always going to come out hot, like you said, with the fastball, same way?
No, I mean, I think it's the same way. I think my command comes from just repeating the same delivery. And that's, if I slow that down, the delivery changes and it's a totally different pitch at that point. So I think I kind of have to keep going full speed.
Jacob Misiorowski joining us. Hey, you had a magic carpet ride, the team I'm talking about last year. It was beautiful for the fans, and I know we loved it. It was like watching a good movie every night with you guys. It was cool. Did you have a favorite moment for the team? Maybe not necessarily yourself, but was there a click moment for you last year that you were just looking around in awe?
I think it was that Cubs series. I think that was the first playoff series where it was just like, holy cow, we made it. Like, this is crazy. Like, we actually did what we were, the first step in what we were shooting for. And, it was kind of one of those things. It was like a, kind of dream come true to finally be in the situation that I wanted to be in.
Wow. And that Cubs series, it was a little bit of up and down, right? You win the first two, you lose the next two. That game 5, was that like, do you have any other moments that even compare to something like that in a team setting?
No, not for me. I mean, I bet you there's some other guys in the room that have moments like that, but that's definitely a first for me. So it was fun.
That series, maybe that game took 2 years off my life.
Yeah, and you weren't even on the field. I think it took 5.
It was because I can't stand the Cubs. I think I may have mentioned that to you last year. I just don't like the Cubs at all. And so that was a beautiful victory. Although, the NLCS, that's a different story, obviously, but you learn from those things. You learn from failure.
Exactly. Yeah, we move on and do better this year. So it's the goal.
Okay, one of the final things I've got for him, Tommy, is we make it a point every year here in Phoenix to stop at a baseball card shop.
Okay.
I'm a big card kind of guy, collector, and we did some polls on the air the other day. How much are you into that, or did that just pop up as a big leaguer?
Yeah, I mean, the baseball side of stuff I haven't been huge into. I think I've definitely been bigger into Pokemon and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I've definitely gotten a little bit bigger into the baseball side of things.
If we're looking at Jacob Misiorowski, full health, ready to go, successful in 2026, what do you think that number is for you if you're getting called upon for games, innings, whatever that is?
I wish I could tell you. I have no idea. I hope it's I'm in all of them, but that's not going to happen. So
32 starts. Is that good? Okay.
Let's go for 35.
35.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's shoot for a lot. Yeah.
35. All right. Then, the opener may take one from you, though. You never know with Murph. But yeah, 32 starts, I'm thinking. ERA in 3.5-ish, I think would be a dynamite year.
Okay.
He's offended by that number.
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way. Yeah.
All right, 2.86.
Okay. There you go.
Jacob, thanks for the time, man.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there he is, Jacob Misiorowski, earlier this morning with our conversation. Interesting on the command part of it that, you can figure it out, but I don't think he was convicted in that statement of, can you learn it? Can it be taught? Can you acquire it? He's a flamethrower. We all know that. But I think most pitchers with that upscale and elite talent, just organically, they will figure out how to pitch, how to be a pitcher instead of a thrower.
Well, and how much of it is maybe a part of the coaching staff telling him, look, rear back and just whip it. Like
Could be.
You know that you can get around the zone and that you've thrown this fastball now for years in the minor leagues and now in the big leagues as well. You don't want him thinking maybe too much about, I need to put it here. It's 102. It has a lot of movement on it as well. And the slider is 97. I tried to ask him about sacrificing any velo for that.
Right.
And he said, no, he doesn't want to do that either. So in my mind, that means he's probably being told, you have a special arm. Not a lot of people have this arm.
Yeah.
You need to use that. And we'll figure out if the command is really going to be an issue at the end of the game.
Middle of the plate as hard as you can. Okay, well, we've seen as Brewers fans Misiorowski pitch. He's had some high-level success. He's also been victimized by some soft contact.
He has a tendency to be pretty unlucky, it feels like.
Seems like it. Yeah, it does seem like it. So when we were throwing out numbers at the tail end of that conversation, I mean, this may take a little bit for Misiorowski. I'm going to try to be patient with him, and I think to a degree I can achieve that. But we want so much so quick as fans that, a 2.86 ERA is off the charts good.
Right.
I mean, these days, that's super, super good.
I could read him on the 3.5. He wanted lower than the 3.5.
Could you?
Oh, I could read it. Yeah, he was saying.
Okay, good. I challenge you.
Yeah, 3.5. What?
3.17 or something. The whip is something also to take a look at, and how to use him. How do they deploy him at this point with potential stall time for Priester, potentially with Woody? We don't know. I'm going to assume, until otherwise noted, that Woody's going to be available to start when the bell rings. But this team may depend on Misiorowski more than they really anticipated early.
I want this team to one day rely on Jacob Misiorowski to go out there and pitch in the biggest games. And right now that should be Brandon Woodruff. I totally get that.
Right.
And right now it can't be Quinn Priester, it sounds like, at least not early in this one. So giving Jacob Misiorowski an opportunity at an opening day, which maybe he will have plenty of chances to get opening day starts. We did the numbers yesterday on, it was Ben Sheets and Giovanni Gallardo, the two top guys with 6 and 5 respectively. But I think that Jacob Misiorowski thrives in the moment and really wants the moment on top of it. And what better way than when you have a lot of control and you know he's going to be a part of this big league club, give him that shot. If you're really concerned about health for guys like Brandon Woodruff, for guys like Quinn Priester, and you're not concerned about it for Jacob Misiorowski at the beginning of the year, don't you still want to give yourself the best chance to win? Is there another starting pitcher that gives you a better chance to win
chance. Yeah.
after Brandon Woodruff and Quinn Priester that's not named Jacob Misiorowski? I don't think so on this team. I do not think so.
I agree. Chad Patrick, Henderson, Gasser, Carlos Rodriguez, etc. Drew Rom. How about that?
Oh, if Drew Rom,
Okay.
we need a Drew Rom starts opening day bet of some sort.
Some long shot.
There's no, I can't imagine it's going to be Drew Rom, but who knows with Murph? He didn't rule out an opener the other day.
He did not rule out an opener, and I'm not going to rule that out either. I mean, you see how that has been successful for Pat Murphy, and that that came years ago, and everyone it's well documented. Wade Miley in the Dodgers playoff series years
Aaron
ago.
Ashby all last
Ashby,
postseason.
yep, Ashby just opener. But I mean, we'll see. Maybe someone does emerge as another starter. But I'm with you. As electric as it is in and around Jacob Misiorowski, not only from his talent perspective, from his emotional perspective, but from the fans' perspective as well, it makes total sense that Jacob Misiorowski just turn him loose on opening day. And hey, if he goes 3 2/3 and gives up 5 runs, well, then so be it.
It's opening day.
It is opening day, and that excitement factor, I think, plays into why. To me, if there's an injury concern with that rotation, he slides into the opening day spot.
I don't know who else they would point to. I don't see it being Chad Patrick. I don't see it being Kyle Harrison. I think that you'd want a guy who's been in the clubhouse at least for some time, and on top of it, has the best talent. And the talent is off the charts with Jacob Misiorowski.
Harrison seems like just a tailor-made 2 or 3.
He was looking good, man. And in our conversation, which is going to come up in the next segment with him, I feel better about Kyle Harrison after talking with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel better about it.
Will too.
I think that you guys are going to know Kyle Harrison's name, and he's a guy that I think the plan is for him to get 28 or more starts this year in the Brewers rotation.
I walked away from that interview saying that's a smart dude, talented and smart. And young and controllable.
Yes, very temperate. Didn't really say that. He didn't necessarily claim that he was emotionless, but he did say doesn't always come out. But when the moment's right, you could see it. And that makes me think Chad Patrick last year.
Yep.
When he goes out and has just a little bit of psycho in him at the end of the year, when he gets up for the big moment, a little bit of Kyle Harrison demeanor in the same way.
I do appreciate, and I don't know which one I like more. I would probably lean toward the emotional guy, but it's a slight lean. I appreciate both styles of pitching. Guys that are just have this poise, that are just there and they don't get rattled. Okay, you gave up two run base hit. I'm going to come back. That's my focus right there. I also like a guy that is, you can tell, is super pissed after that 2-run base hit.
Right.
I can appreciate that, both sides. So,
what about the bat? On the offensive side, emotion guy?
Oh, for sure. On that side of things, ooh, baby, yeah.
So you must be a big Jazz Chisholm guy.
No. No. For whatever reason, I don't like him.
Yeah. Great Britain.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on why I don't. Maybe because he speaks his opinion too much and too loud, and I disagree with him on a lot of things.
All
Maybe
right.
that's why. I'm going to show appreciation toward baseball talent.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean I have to like him.
Okay. All right. Fair point.
Okay. We're starting to learn each other while living together.
I can't believe it's only been 4 days.
It feels like it's been 3.5 years. All right, we'll take a break. Kyle Harrison came over in the Durbin deal. We will air our conversation that we had with him this morning. You're listening to Spring Training Live. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We're in our mobile studios here because we're in Phoenix with help from the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's your chance to hear the latest from the Brewers spring training with the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz and Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. We wish you guys were here right along with us. We spoke to Garrett today. We saw him at the ballpark, a big fan of the post-game show and the station here. He was there with his wife, and they're snowbirds, so they're going to be headed back to where? Mukwonago.
Mukwonago, yeah. They both of them working at the stadium too, right? He's on the scoreboard, and she's in 50-50.
Saw Andy and his son Scott. They're in Milwaukee City of. We saw those guys at the park today as well. So great. It's great weather. Obviously, it's in the desert. So. We wish you were here covering the Brewers right along with us, and we're hoping to bring you some more candid conversations. Tomorrow morning, we're right back into that Brewers clubhouse and doing what we do. So stick around. Another edition of Spring Training Live tomorrow at 5 as well, and you can pick it up podcast style wherever you get your podcasts. And also you can watch us on YouTube, correct?
YouTube.com/@WI Sports Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Best Brewers coverage, and you'll get all of Spring Training Live from all week here.
All right, so Kyle Harrison comes over in the trade, and young dude, left-hander, really, I think when we talk about leaps and pick the clicks and things like that, I'm a big fan of his.
24 years old, from San Jose, California, a NorCal, SoCal guy. He told us in this interview as well. Drafted by the Giants in the 3rd round back in 2020 out of high school. And Kyle Harrison, of course, making his big league debut in 2023 with the Giants, then traded to Boston last year as a part of the Rafael Devers trade. We got into that a little bit with Kyle Harrison. All right, Tim, Skip Gwynn? Do you know this guy?
Skip Gwynn. I don't think so.
Guinn. You ever heard the name? Apparently, he's the grandfather of Kyle Harrison. I just learned this. He pitched in the big leagues. 1968, 1969, 1971 Houston Astros.
Skip Gwynn.
Yeah. Guinn.
I'm sure I have a baseball card or two.
Yeah,
of
just thought
Skip
it was
Gwynn.
interesting enough to go in there. But Kyle Harrison, we got to see his stuff a couple of days ago. He went 3 innings, no runs allowed in his Cactus League debut. Looked great. And service time, also a part of this. He'll be on this team through 2031 if he is not traded, because that is the team control of Kyle.
When you think about Woody Burns and Peralta, now I'm not necessarily comparing Kyle Harrison to one of those guys. If you have a stable of Kyle Harrisons and Brandon Sproats, Gassers, Henderson, Misiorowski, chances are you're going to find your next Woody Burns or Peralta.
Well, and that's all what this is about. Kyle Harrison, we spoke with him earlier today about finding that something here with the Brewers.
Left-hander Kyle Harrison inside the Brewers clubhouse. Spring training 2026. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz. Kyle, how are you, man?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
More important, how you are. Welcome to Milwaukee.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Well, not Milwaukee, but Maryville, but
well, that's true. That's true. Well, you know what I mean.
Right.
All right. Everything good? Everything feeling okay?
Going great. Feeling good. Good to get the first one under the belt. And, yeah, man, just like you said it, good to get out there and get the cobwebs out for sure.
Yeah, and after that first outing, how'd you feel day of? How you feeling today? It went pretty well the first time around.
Feeling great. Body's recovering pretty well. And now it's just stacking the days and trying to get stronger and stronger day by day. And, just attack each day.
All right, so you've been traded. Where were you? What happened? Take us through that.
Yeah, I was went out to Florida spring training week early, of course, make sure to be there early, and then was getting through my physical and couldn't make it through the physical. Was told, hey, you need to go talk to the manager, and was told I'd been traded right there. So not even make it through the first day. So
It didn't phase you? I mean, you got to make arrangements. You got to travel. You got to, where am I going?
100%. You know, and that was the thing. I mean, once it happens once, that was my second time already. So it was like once it happened once, kind of you get in the hang of things. And yeah, I'd say the only thing was like the living situation. But fortunately, you know, I was renting from a teammate out there. So yeah.
What were some of the different emotions from getting traded to Boston versus getting traded from Boston, right? You came over in a very high-profile trade last year, and now this year you're in an off-season trade. What were some differences between the two?
Yeah.
Or similarities?
Yeah, I'd say for the first part, you know, it's like I was drafted by the team that I was with for 5 years. So that one was probably a little bit more meaningful, right? Knowing just the relationships I had there and all the coaches, all my friends there, teammates. Yeah, and then spent 5-6 months in Boston, so not that much time. So couldn't get too comfortable there, right, per se. So no, man, that's the difference, I'd say. No, definitely a little more of a connection with the Giants one, just because of the significance how long I was there.
Sure.
Okay, here's the part of the interview where I suck up to him, Tommy. Okay, so we have pick the clicks and we have quantum leaps and who's going to be the surprise or whatever. I got you. Isn't that right?
He did.
I got you. I think the main goal for you guys has always been health. You stay healthy, you're going to have success for the most part. Is it 30 starts you want? Is it an ERA number that you've got in your mind? Not asking for a stat, but what would be some of those goals?
Yeah, you know, I'd say it's just for me, you know, personally going through it, it's staying healthy. You know, it's having that season where, you know, I finish healthy and stay available, you know, to make however many starts they need. And that's honestly the goal, just to be available whenever they need me. And to do that, you need to be healthy. So get stronger each and every day, like I've been talking about, and just keep stacking the days and stay healthy.
We have been hearing a lot about the youth surrounding this Brewers starting rotation. Obviously, you got a guy like Woody, who's a vet, but then everyone else, not a lot of service time there. Does that make it easier to transition into something like this into Milwaukee? Is it maybe more collaborative because all you guys have shorter service times? What do you make of the youth specifically and the depth that's here in the starting pitching rotation?
Cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's something we could use to our advantage and bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other's experiences. And the little experience that I have and the little experience that they have, we could take little bits and pieces and ultimately, like, you know, it's going to be a competition and we want to compete, and it's only going to make each and every one of us better to compete against each other. And in that aspect, you know, trying to outdo someone, you know, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, and being so young and still getting your bearings here in the big leagues a little bit, now with a new club, what's something you are experimenting with specifically in this spring or this off season? You were working on a new pitch, new timing. What's been going on with you that you're really working on in spring right now?
I'd say just knowing my body, you know, it's knowing what I need. It's the daily bullpen, you know, the daily catch play, what I need to feel good, knowing where my arm's at, knowing where my lower half's at, all these little external cues, drills that we can use. It's just really refining the small little stuff that you kind of overlook at times, and really just hammering down the little stuff. That way, when you get into a game, it can easily translate.
What are Brewer fans going to see out of Kyle Harrison? An emotionless pitcher, I mean, which is okay. I mean, you can have huge success, or is it going to be fist pumping after a big strikeout, a PCA or something?
It's probably not the fist bump guy, you know, but who knows, you know, the moment, you know, never been in a big, huge moment like that, playoffs. So,
when you were growing up, Kyle, no, I mentioned PCA because I can't stand the Cubs. Okay. But even before I got into this business, I hated the Cubs. All right. So was there a team that you don't have to use the word hate, but was there a team you disliked as a kid?
Not necessarily. No, I never really rooted against anyone, you know, because I wasn't a diehard fan. You know, I was a Angels fan kind of growing up. I liked the Rally Monkey, kind of bounced from NorCal to SoCal, California, living there.
Okay.
So, yeah, then we moved up north again, and then my family was kind of A's fans. We just go to A's games, you know. So I haven't been like you call it like diehard fan of anyone. So
what about in football?
Football, no, I've been a Niners guy my whole way. So
and you don't like the Cowboys or the Packers?
I don't see like I don't got a lot of hate for him.
Trying to drag hate out of this kid.
Yeah. I don't got hate for any team really. It's,
I have another one here. Going back over to the baseball side of things, the ABS system, right, going to be used a whole lot more this year. You obviously have tested it before in the minors and in spring training last year. What are some adjustments that coaching staffs have given, maybe advice, tips about it, and how are you feeling about it so far going into 26?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's don't do anything as a pitcher.
Right,
It's trust the catcher and trust everyone else behind you to keep those challenges and use them in crucial parts of the game, I think.
Well, and you saw it yesterday. Chicago very aggressive with it in the game. You guys also early on. Is that something that it's just spring, so try it out whenever you want to try it out, or you think it is something that early in games you guys might be more tempted to try?
I think obviously it just comes down to the common sense of it, right? Like if you're that convicted and knowing that it's in the zone or that it's not in the zone, go ahead and rip it. But then if you're way off, then we're gonna have to reassess it, and maybe you're gonna lose that ability to do that. Who knows what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like you play the risk game of if you're very convicted in the first inning, like yeah, let's do it. But like if it's kind of this and that, like I don't know if it's gonna go my way, then it's like all right, maybe wait for a higher mounted like situation.
Well, it's just like extra innings. It took us probably a couple of years to kind of figure out the strategy to it.
100%.
There's got to be strategy to this.
Yeah, and that's what they're probably going to try to figure out. Guys on the computers probably figure out that strategy better than we can. So,
yeah.
Well, Kyle, goals for 2026. You said you just want to remain healthy. You want to be ready to go. Opening day. Have you experienced one yet?
I have.
What goes into those emotions then? Take us back to your first one, for instance.
Yeah, it's cool, to break with the team. But man, honestly, like any day up there, you don't take for granted. And but opening day is special just because you get to see the flyover and you're there at the start of the year. It's just kind of a different feeling. So definitely, that's the difference.
Have you been to Wisconsin?
I have. I actually pitched there before. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just spot the pitch.
Okay. Milwaukee, and if you did a little studying on where you're going to live, or does that come later?
That comes later. You gotta take it day by day, and just attack each. You gotta attack each day, and
you're making this team.
That's what you gotta do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle, man, thanks. Good luck. We'll see you down the line.
Thank you. Nice meeting you guys. Yeah.
There should not be any doubt he's making this baseball team. He's breaking
going to make
camp.
the team. He's going to make the team.
Yeah. Now there, you want to talk about one guy that's an absolute slam dunk in the rotation. It's that dude right there.
And Miz. And Woody.
Well, yeah.
And
well, given health.
Given health.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll come back and tell you more about what's going on here. Best Brewers coverage all week long, spring training live. That's what you're listening to right now all along the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
You're listening to Spring Training Live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, with the franchise Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz in the Brewers clubhouse. Spring Training Live 2026 with Brewer prospect Cooper Pratt. Cooper, how are you, man?
Fantastic.
Okay, really? Why fantastic?
I mean, it's baseball season, man. It's time to play ball.
Itching to get to the summer weather a little bit. How is it in Arizona so far for you this season?
Perfect. Weather's perfect. Ready to start the season and get that going.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit. When you were drafted, obviously you had a college path if you chose, but Brewers took a shot. Slot was right. And how'd you feel after that? What went into that?
It was a difficult decision for sure. I mean, I almost went the college route and prayed about it. I mean, it was kind of in the moment, but I feel like it was kind of okay, do I want to play professional baseball now or do I want to try and go to college and see how that goes? And the door was open. I didn't know if the door was going to be open in 3 years, but the door was open now, and I'm glad that I picked the choice that I did.
Yeah, how does that decision factor, like patience and like timing, all being a part of it? Are those two like the bigger factors that go into it, or what else goes into that decision?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of knew what to expect going into college.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what to expect going into pro ball. I remember like I got here and I was like they flew me out and I saw like the college guys that we drafted and I was just a skinny little twig and I was like, oh, what did I get myself into? And then I just realized it's the same game, and it's really like once you figure out the system, it's just baseball.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It doesn't change. I mean, to a large degree, it's 90-foot base pass, 6 feet 6 inches, catch, throw, hit, run.
Catch, throw, hit, and run. Just everyone gets a little bit bigger every level you go up.
And a little bit, and a whole lot better.
I wouldn't say. A whole lot better, but it's just more consistency for sure.
What was like a welcome to pro ball moment from that jump? When you make that jump from high school into pro, you've gone up a couple of levels now here too throughout the system. What was the one moment that you can remember like, oh, I'm playing baseball professionally now?
First off, the extra 2 innings, they do that in college. That was at first that was like oh my gosh, these games are so much longer now type thing. But I remember like in the ACL, I like booted a ball with 2 outs or something, maybe in an Instructs game. And then the next batter took one way deep and I was like, shoot. And it like tied up the game. I'm like, dang, they really do like when you make a mistake. Yeah, they make you pay. And I was like, shoot, welcome to pro ball, I guess.
Thanks for saying shoot there. Cooper Pratt joining us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Well, now you're up with the big league club here in Arizona. You love the weather right now. How you feeling about the game so far? Where you think you're at right now? You've been rising up throughout the ranks here at a very crowded position, it feels like, but a position also that could be of need. And who knows what the timing might entail. How you feeling so far with your progression in your game in 26?
Yeah, I mean, just getting the at-bats. It's spring, it's early. Coming in and taking advantage of getting early at-bats. No matter how pretty they may be, really doesn't matter in the spring. If I hit 500 or if I hit 50, I mean, once the season starts, that's when it counts. But getting to see pitchers and get ready for the season is really big. And the more at-bats I can get, the better.
There's a lot of different philosophies in hitting. And I know in talking to players over the years that one of the crucial parts is timing. And is that a big thing? I mean, obviously it's a big thing, but for you, is that an area of focus would be timing and then adjust from there?
I'd say that's the biggest thing, because if you're on time, it really doesn't matter what your swing is like. If you have good timing on everything, obviously swing, it kind of does matter, but if you have good timing, a bad swing could hit a home run or et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, yeah, obviously you want to be on time to hit, but then you get some pitches that you kind of have to adjust.
Yeah. And how about on the fielding side of things, the defensive side? You know that you're coming up as a shortstop, position of needs, getting up to the big leagues, might say third base. How comfortable are you moving around? We talked about versatility with a lot of guys here, but when you're talking about trying to work on your game on the defensive side, do you do that at more than one position as of right now?
Right now, no, but I've grown up playing second base. I've played third base before. It's not hard to figure out, especially second base. I played a lot of that in high school when my older brother played shortstop and I was pushed to second. But I mean, I can't imagine third base is much harder. I mean, it's all reaction. They hit it harder, but it's fielding a ground ball. And like, I mean, I've played third base before. Obviously, I'd have to like get used to it again. But second base is like riding a bike, I think. I mean, I haven't played it in 4 years, but it seems pretty muscle memory.
I think I know the answer to this question, but let's find out. Prospect rankings. The future looks great for you, Cooper. I mean, it does within this organization. Do you think more about that, or do your friends think more?
My friends, I honestly don't care a lick about it. Like, yeah, it's cool, but it really means nothing. Like, it's not going to determine whether you make the big leagues or not. Like, there's plenty of people that make the big leagues that aren't on that list, and plenty that aren't on the list that end up having amazing careers.
Yeah. How much communication do you have with the big leagues when you're a guy working through single A, double A, and how much constant communication do you have in a season, I guess, with the big league club during that time?
What do you mean?
Meaning just like you get a bunch of relationship builds here at spring training right now. You're talking with Murph, you're talking with other positional coaches from time and time here. Does that kind of get cut off when you head down to Biloxi?
A little. I mean, we have like rovers that like go through each affiliate and like check out the big league teams and stuff like that. And like, well, people like that. When the season starts, it's kind of all business. Like every club is focusing on their club. And, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it makes sense. And who's helping you out the most down at those levels there? Who are some really influential pieces for you as you're coming up in this system that you might want to give a shout out to?
Shout out JB, Justin Bohr. I told him I was going to shout him out. No, they're all like it's all good. They all have something different that they can offer you. So I mean, there is no one's more than the other type thing. They all do a great job of like giving you the information you need or telling you stuff you need to hear. And I can't give any more credit to one than the other because they all do a great job.
Well, the future looks really bright for you, Cooper. We're rooting for you, and we'll see you in Milwaukee at some point for sure.
So thank you guys.
Cooper Pratt in our conversation this morning. That's going to do it for Spring Training Live 2026 here in Phoenix, Arizona. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network mobile studios here in Phoenix with help from Potawatomi Sportsbook. We have another show tomorrow.
One more show.
Ah, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Can we stay another week and bring you more Brewers coverage? Oh, man, I'd love to.
Next year will come the whole month.
Might as well just, when pitchers and catchers report, we report.
Relocation fees for me and Tim Allen to Arizona.
Okay.
Full time.
I think my girlfriend would love that.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't see a complaint.
She
Spark,
just
get on it, Spark. Make a promo for it. We got it.
Best Brewers coverage throughout the day tomorrow, all day on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, and then Spring Training Live tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Bringing you, we're going to bring as many interviews as we can to you, getting you ready for the 2026 championship season. And the Brewers are just 3 weeks away from opening day. It's game 1 against the White Sox. And who will start that game? It's a mystery here with 3 weeks left. Wow. I've never had a season like this where it was such a mystery for the opening day starter.
Just 21 days and we'll know.
Charlie Houston, thank you this week. I know we'll be with Brandon tomorrow, but you've done a bang-up job here, man. Thank you. For Tommy Wirtz, this is Tim Allen. See you tomorrow at 5 and smile.